Good morning, chat. Welcome to stream. I forgot to put on a necklace. I always think that I've got it all figured out, that I know what I'm doing, and then I turn on the camera and I'm like, oh dear, a core aspect of my identity is missing. That's not good. Ah. It seems that the Ionic crystal wanted to be worn instead of the opal flower. Apologies, Ionic crystal. You will get your time again. Good morning, Rose. There we go. Alright, folks. We're back to Pokemon Run and Bun. You might also notice a distinct absence of multicolored light in the background of my camera, and that is because the animals broke it. So if anyone would like a non-functional light bar, I'll like spit on it or something if you want to pay shipping and handling. Anyways, we're back to Run and Bun. I don't know if I'm gonna go back to streaming. Did you hear about the Louvre? I did not hear about the Louvre. Hold on, I now have to Google. Hold on, Google. What happened at the Louvre? Got robbed by two people with a chainsaw and a scooter. Look, I was getting nervous that we were going to have like a Notre Dame moment. Was it Notre Dame that burned down? Yeah. Okay, that's just funny. Like, condolences to those jewels, specifically. Honestly, though. Yeah, no, that's unfortunate, but, like, also really funny. I don't know what you want from me. Anyways, so I don't know if I want to go back to Legend ZA for the stream. I like playing the game. I don't know, they should send all the jewels to me for safekeeping. I'm trustworthy. I believe you, Rose. And it's like, I don't know, I like Legend ZA, but I just don't know if it's super engaging to watch. I can't tell if Run and Bun, like, if Legend ZA, because it could be one of three things, right? I could just be having a slight slump in viewership. That happens from time to time, where sometimes, you know, you just have like 2 or 3 bad streams in a row. It could also be that ZA is a really strong underperformer, or I haven't understood, like, fully comprehended the fact that Run and Bun is an absurd overperformer, typically. Hard to say. So yeah, I'm probably going to do some thinking about whether or not I want to play more of that live on stream. Or if I just kind of want to stick to my beautiful Nightmare video game. Which, speaking of, that's the wrong thing, but wrong. There we go. So, we made a best veto. That's pretty cool. Did our level ups? I believe there weren't any edits I needed to make. And we're on to our next encounter. Well, we're not on to our next encounter. We have some fights we need to do first. And these fights are kind of silly. I need to look up D-I-T-T-O. Is it Picnic or Charlotte? It is Picnic or Charlotte. So, straight out the gate, we've got a kind of funny fight coming up, because it is our first encounter with a Ditto. So, out of curiosity, Leafeon, what damage do you do to Arcanine? Yeah, even if we're holding an item. Okay. So, this fight's kind of silly. We're going to bring Togedemaru. We are going to bring Honchkrow. We are going to bring Steelix. We are going to equip Togedemaru with a Pecha Berry that it will not use. We also need to bring some backup Pokemon for this. So I'm going to grab Hisuian Arcanine. I'm going to grab Talonflame. And... Damn, Leafeon, you get fucking hard countered by Sawsbuck. Nice. Your comment got to 1,000 notes last night. Go you, Rose. Look at you fucking go. Look at you go. Ooh, okay. Roserade should be good. Okay. Hi, Turtle. Welcome to Stream Hunt. So, we need Maisie. We need Marguerite. We need Dollop. We need Hamilton. We need Scalpel. And we need Rose. Ideally, we don't need Hamilton, Scalpel, or Rose, but they exist as backups. We are now going to confirm we are set into single battles. Togedemaru, the most damage you take from a crit double edge is 126. So, we're going to be a little silly. We're going to make it so that Maisie is going to get beat within an inch of her life. So we're going to pre-damage slot number 1 to 127. We are also going to give Maisie a, where is it? A Pecha Berry that it will never do anything with. So export, import. Cool. And then we don't want anything on Marguerite. And then for Dollop, we also don't want anything on, I think, because Marguerite knows knockoff, yeah. Okay. And I guess Hamilton, we will give... Honestly, we kind of don't give anyone anything, because this entire team has a bunch of knockoff Mon. But it's fine. Maisie's gonna be fine. Unless the calculator is lying to me, Maisie should be absolutely fine. It's gonna be so chill. We could also choose to fish in these ponds right here. We are not going to do that. There are a lot of really good fishing encounters here, but we specifically want to chance the grass encounters coming up. Because in that grass, we can find Rabombi, we can find Corviknight, we can get Staraptor. Surfetch'd is interesting. The only real misses are Ledian and Vespiquen, and even then Vespiquen gets a Protect move, and Ledian gets U-turn and Encore. Holding the calculator aloft by the throat, don't fuck this up for me. Look, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be so fine. So, this is Picnicker Charlotte. She has a Dodrio with a Choice Band. So it can, once it chooses a move, it can only use that move. And all of her moves are really powerful and do recoil damage. She has Brave Bird and Double Edge. Double Edge does a minimum of 47.9% damage. A critical hit Double Edge against Maisie does at most 126. Now you may be wondering, April, why do you have Maisie so that if she gets crit by this Dodrio and high rolls, will only have 1 hit point? Don't worry about it. So first things first, we don't one-hit KO this thing, so we are going to use Fake Out. Honestly, just for the funsies of it. It flinched. I also don't need to use Spiky Shield, but I want to because we finally have it. Spiky Shield's neat because if they use a contact move, like Double Edge, they take recoil damage. Now we're going to use Zing Zap. So the thing is, we don't want Dodrio to crit us. Okay, good. The reason that we lowered Maisie's HP is because we want her HP to be as low as possible going into their Leafeon. So their next two Pokemon are Ditto and Leafeon. We should see Leafeon next. Okay. Oh, Leafeon, you have such a cute sprite in this. So, against Leafeon, it knows Swords Dance, Grass Whistle, Knockoff, and Leaf Blade. We want it to see a KO on Maisie so that way it doesn't use Swords Dance. Lowest possible roll on Knockoff is 51. Either way, it's never going for Leaf Blade here. We gave Maisie a Pecha Berry so that way it sees the boosted damage version of Knockoff. So we would prefer it go for Knockoff or Grass Whistle here, because we are going to swap into Marguerite. Marguerite is not holding an item, and Marguerite has insomnia and is thus immune to sleep. Knockoff. No crit. Perfect. We are now going to one-hit KO this Leafeon with Brave Bird. Crit Leaf Blade, or yeah, critical Leaf Blade's like 50% of our max HP. Now, don't get me wrong, we're about to take 23% of our max HP and recoil from Brave Bird. I did the math. The only way we died to this is if Leafeon like got high roll crit like twice. And now, in comes Ditto. Ditto is transforming into Marguerite. This Ditto now has all of Marguerite's moves and stats and is holding a Focus Sash. So, in the calculator, we have to look up Honchkrow. Go to our custom set. So now, the nice thing about our Honchkrow is that we deleted Dark Pulse, so it only knows physical moves, which means it does not do basically any damage to Steelix. So we are going to go into Pokemon. We are going to swap to Dollop. It could use Tailwind, it could use Knockoff. Brave Bird does at most 16%. Brave Bird, cool. Critical hit. A little spooky. Okay. So now if we drop its defense by 2 stages, it gets 2-hit KO'd by Gyro Ball. So we're going to use Screech. Goes for Sucker Punch. Okay. And now I think we're safe to just use 2 Gyro Balls. I feel like that did more damage than it was supposed to. Like, cool. Tailwind, making Gyro Ball even stronger. Perfect. That one I was a little nervous about, because part of calcing this fight is making sure you, like, Ditto comes in on a Pokemon that you have an easy time KOing. So part of the first chunk of this fight, the reason that we used Maisie was so that way we guaranteed that Maisie baited in Leafeon second, so then we could KO Leafeon with a Pokemon that's relatively weak like Honchkrow. All right, time to restart my run, Volt Flare. No, honey, oh no, did something happen? Did you get dunked on? It was at, you were at Norman Split, right? I hit a Lowland Geodude off rocks and had enough. Did you accidentally do the fuck up that I did? Oh, got it. Granite Cave? No, it wouldn't have been. You were way further in than I was. Either way, Picnicker Charlotte has been defeated. Next up is Rich Boy Bra. So we need Seismitoad. We need Arcanine. We need Hitmonchan. I really think this fight's really straightforward. We need Togedemaru and Steelix. I really needed some defense, so I went Rock and Miss. Ah, that was its Cycling Road split. Huh. Oh, okay. You hit the rocks up there, like north of Wind Straits. But, because you don't need to fight the Wind Straits to get up there. Got it. Okay, who else do we want for this team? Because I believe Nidoking is perfectly consistent. Yeah. And then in comes Honchkrow, because it should be the highest damaging thing that outspeeds us and gets KO. Which is then easily taken out by you. Mimikyu likely won't see KO, but Snorlax will. Yeah, because of Earthquake. Which Hitmonchan can swap into. And then with Muscle Band. Why do I want a pre-toxic Steelix? Ah, Will-O-Wisp. Makes sense. So one nice thing now is, because we can encounter Wild Salazzle, we are allowed to pre-toxic our Poison and Steel types. Okay. Yeah, Mimikyu, you kind of get your shit rocked by Excadrill. You know what? I'll bring Granbull. Just as, like, in case I need to scary face something. Okay. So. We need Seismitoad. We need Arcanine. We need Hitmonchan. We need Togedemaru, we need Steelix, we need... Oh, I'm holding Steelix. And Granbull for the funnies. Okay. So, we are going to get a Chesto Berry. Give that over to Breek. Only a Chesto Berry? Oh yeah. Nidoking, why do you have Lovely Kiss? Making sure that is... causes the target to fall asleep? Yeah. Okay. Earth Power, Blizzard, Thunder, Lovely Kiss. Also just confirming... 58... Honchkrow does the most damage. Okay. We are going to give Kethri the Muscle Band. It's in here somewhere. I don't think we need anything in particular on Maisie. Yeah, we need to pre-toxic Steelix. So I guess... Scripting. Help text. Okay, so it's... Pre-toxic... 5. Excellent. I wonder, if I, like, check its summer, does it show it as different? It does not. Okay. But I believe it worked correctly. We'll give, like, I don't know, an Oranberry to, Duchess. In case we're just using her to swap into something. Hey, Rob Ross. Welcome to stream. Okay. Seismitoad. Honchcrow doesn't have anything crazy here. Gets outsped and KO'd by Rock Slide. Don't need anything fancy on Hamilton. Brave Bird Pursuit. Yeah, let's give it an Oranberry. And same for Maisie. And then I believe this Mimikyu gets absolutely dunked by Gyro Ball. That's right. Okay. Well, I could also give it a Metal Coat, but no, that's fine. Okay. My snake! My snake! They're poison damaging my snake! Alright. I don't think it's you. You got anything to say, old man? All my pooch does is trash about chasing its own tail. Knocks the foe away to the end of battle. Ooh, Dragon Tail? Nice. Knew it. Okay. Go back into our bag. Use some potions. Heal up Steelix. Okay. Rich Boy Bra. Once again, I think this should be a relatively straightforward fight. Camping's fun. You better not secretly be a camper. Nah, he's a twink. Okay. Dangerous blonde men. In comes Nidoking. In comes Breek. This Nidoking has a pretty standard Nidoking set. It has Sheer Force and a bunch of moves that do a lot of damage. Earth Power, Blizzard, Thunder, and then Lovely Kiss to put you to sleep. Breek has a Chestaberry just in case. This Nidoking does outspeed us by just a little bit. So what we're going to do is we are going to use Mud Shot turn 1. Goes for Lovely Kiss. Perfect. Our Chestoberry procs. Mud Shot drops Nidoking's speed and does a little over 50%. Nice. And now that we're faster than it, we should be able to one-hit KO with our own Earth Power. Now, Breek does more damage than all of the Pokemon in the rest of this line, isn't one-hit KO'd by any of them, and I think is outsped by Honchcrow and Mimikyu. So I believe it should be Honchcrow next. Honchcrow. Good. Honchcrow sees that its highest damaging move against Seismitoad is Brave Bird. So we are going to swap to Hamilton, who does not take a lot of damage from Brave Bird. Perfect. It is now slower than us. It dies to Rock Slide. Now, next in line should be Snorlax. Can it see Kill with Earthquake? It can see Kill with Earthquakes. Yeah, it should be Snorlax next. Okay. We are going to swap Hamilton, because against Hamilton, it's going to go for Earthquake. Is there a chance it goes for Curse? No, it doesn't go for Curse because it sees that we outspeed into hit KO with close combat. So, Kethri takes at most 36% from Earthquake. Kethri outspeeds Snorlax. Thanks to the Muscle Band, it is able to one-hit KO with Sky Uppercut. Critical hit helps, why not? Crit mattered. Okay. Next in line is Mimikyu. This Mimikyu sees a one-hit KO on Hitmonchan with Play Rough. It currently has its disguise up, so what we are going to do is actually swap to Maisie because of a bug. Togedemaru's, like, Pokemon with Iron Barbs are able to break disguise if damage is done to them. So we are going to swap to Toge. It's never going to go for Will-O-Wisp because it sees KO. A fast KO at that. Togedemaru takes at most 31% from Play Rough. The thing bugs out a little. Okay, hurt by its Life Orb. Does Life Orb only do 1/16? I thought that Life Orb did 1/10 of its max HP in this. Loses 1/10 of their max HP after an attack. Now, it's possible that Mimikyu here is going to go for Will-O-Wisp, but it's also possible it goes for Shadow Claw. Either way, we're going to use Spiky Shield to try to get some chip damage in before we swap to Steelix. Unfortunate. Okay. We are going to swap to Dollop. Dollop is toxic here because she should only need a turn to KO Mimikyu. Will-O-Wisp fails because we're poisoned. With Gyro Ball, it's not a guaranteed one-hit KO, I think, but it's very likely. Shadow Claw does at most 17% without crit. Oh, that's right. Life Orb makes it so that this KO is easy. And simple as. Okay. I want to grab this item real quick. Max Potion's funny. Nothing to grab the item finder. Okay. So I did a good bit of pre-calcin for this stream. Not all of it. Though I do think it's possible that we get up to the gauntlet today. If not actually crossing into its bounds. I tried to calc all of the fights up to the gauntlet, but I think there are 2, maybe 3 more I haven't done. Okay. So this next fight here is where we have to worry about the analytic bug. Now you may be wondering, well, April, what's the analytic bug? There is an ability called Analytic that says if you are slower than your opponent, your moves do extra damage. Problem is that this game is bugged, so it sees if you are faster on the last turn. That includes other Pokemon. So for instance, there is a Milotic and there is a Starmie. The Milotic has a speed of 99. We are going to be using Noelle Holiday for this fight, so I will use her as an example. Noelle has a speed of 155. Noelle is faster than Milotic, but slower than Starmie. However, when Starmie comes in after Milotic, it will see that it was slower than Sawsbuck because Sawsbuck was faster in the previous round against a different Pokemon. That doesn't affect its damage, but it does affect the move that it uses. We want this thing to use Psychic so we can get a free swap into Zoroark. So that way we can one-hit KO with Knockoff. But if this thing goes for Hydro Pump, because it sees a kill and like coin flips into Hydro Pump, that would one-hit KO Zoroark. So we need to make sure that we swap our Pokemon around correctly to not accidentally proc the analytic bug and get our guys killed. So we brought Sawsbuck, we brought Eldegoss. You still one hit KO? Honchkrow? You don't. You know what? Maybe we bring Honchkrow instead of Zoroark, because with black glasses, if something goes wrong, it'll still live Hydro Pump. And KO with Sucker Punch. Yeah, maybe we use you instead of Zoro. Black glasses Zoro doesn't even one hit KO. What the fuck? Oh, Zoroark's just faster, that's why. Hi, Newt. Made it through our first 2 fights. We are now prepping for Analytic fight. Yeah, and then in comes Eldegoss on a Hydro Pump or a Psychic. Think we're fine. Definitely never goes for Thunderbolt. Okay. So we only need 3 Pokemon for this fight because there are only 2 Pokemon on this team. So we need Sawsbuck, we need Eldegoss, we need Honchkrow. Beyond that, we will grab Zoroark as a backup. And I guess Maisie. And like... I don't know, what's good into this thing? Roserade, as long as it gets the free swap in. Electros is okay into this. I'll bring Electros. Okay. So, equip Sawsbuck with Asperberry. This is because Sawsbuck will be fighting a Melodic that knows Ice Beam and is not afraid to use it. The reason we're using Sawsbuck to fight this Melodic is because it has Mirror Coat, and we don't want to get hit by Mirror Coat. And we're able to 2-hit KO it and outspeed. So, we grab an Asperberry. Pari, we will give an Oranberry just in case of crit. Marguerite, we will give the black glasses. And Felice, Jane, we will give the wise glasses. If I can stop fumbling with the menu. Give wise glasses, Jane. And then Felice, you can have an Oranberry. For good luck. Okay. So this fight should ideally be very straightforward. I hope. We're relying on Hornleech here. I think there's 2, maybe 3 more fights before we get our next encounter. Hi, Cascadia. I'm going to be building a Gunpla while watching, so I won't be able to chat but know that I'm still here. Well, I appreciate you, like, choosing this to be your place to lurk while building Gunpla. But yeah. Post photos and neat stuff once you finish it up. I want to see. Ooh, waterfall item. I know that that's a rare candy in original Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, but I imagine it's probably not that in this. Okay, just beat you. Okay, we have Noelle. Noelle has an Asperberry. Orin, black. Orin, wise. Okay. So, Steelix, do you really... I love Steelix. So Steelix has Explosion, which is really useful because it shows kills to a bunch of things. The problem is that it fucks up the color coding. So it shows like, wait, Steelix, why do you match up green into Milotic? You take 90% from Scald. It's because I could one-hit KO it with Explosion. Funny ass move. Okay. So, this is Fisherman Nolan. He has a team of 2 Pokemon, Melodic with Marvel Scale and Alumberry, and Staryu with Wise Glasses and Analytic. Melodic here knows Scald, Ice Beam, Recover, and Mirror Coat. It won't use Mirror Coat against us because we don't have any special attacking moves. Double checking that Mirror Coat does in fact do that. I'm pretty sure it's the special version of Counter, but... Deals damage to the last Pokemon with a special attack this turn equal to twice the HP lost. Yeah, it's special attacking counter. We 2-hit KO with Horn Leech, and we recover HP off of the damage we do with Horn Leech. So we are going to use Horn Leech. It is going to go for Ice Beam. A crit Ice Beam does at most about 90% to us. That's fine. We have an Asper Berry in case it freezes us. Now, we need to look at our HP, and we need to look at Staryu. Because of the analytic bug, Staryu assumes that it currently has analytic damage boost. Because it sees us as having been faster last turn. Hold on, so just making sure. Okay. I believe if I'm correct here, it currently sees that the highest damage Hydro Pump can do to Sawsbuck is 58. So it never goes for that. It always goes for Psychic. That always does the most damage. So I believe we are now safe to swap into Marguerite the Haunchcrow. We brought Eldegoss in case we took too much damage from Melodic and didn't heal off enough with Horn Leech. So I believe we are safe. And even then, this thing doesn't kill us unless it, yeah, Psychic. Okay. Marguerite is now, oh, Marguerite actually, oh, no, it doesn't outspeed this thing. I have its speed set to -2. It's going to go for an attacking move with Black Glasses. Sucker Punch always KOs. Nice. I'm very wary of this fight because it's where Pichao lost his Crocodile. I assume we have one more. We do. And I think this next fight is a little scary. Yeah, this one took me a while to figure out. Oof. Okay. I might want to review my line on this one just to make sure everything's on the up and up. So let's go over here. So equip. We open with Sawsbuck, sends in Barrascuda, we bring in Torterra. Golisopod, we swap to Granbull. That's right, because this Golisopod does a lot of damage, and we're taking advantage of Intimidate on Granbull. Swap to Walrein, use Super Fang to proc Emergency Exit, swap to Armaldo, swap to Kingdra. Damn, does Armaldo really get one-hit KO by Octazooka? That kicks ass. And this is a rain team, so we actually get to take advantage of the fact that our Kingdra has Swift Swim. And then return of Golisopod. Actually, hold on. Return of Golisopod. Yeah, I think we're fine. I think we might be safe to just stay in and KO this thing with Kingdra, but we'll worry about that later. So swap to Granbull, swap to Roserade as a just in case. Yeah, I think this should be fine. Scald, Psychic, Toxic, Protect. We give Sawsbuck a Pecha Berry, we're safe from Protect. 2-hit KO with Horn Leech. In comes Barrascuda that sees it outspeeds and one-hit KOs with close combat. It goes for the close combat kill. We swap into Torterra, who takes it really well. We then take Liquidation. We are giving Torterra a Citrus Berry to make sure we always bait in Golisopod instead of Armaldo. So it'll always heal up enough. Golisopod comes in. It sees KO with First Impression or Leech Life. We swap into Granbull. Granbull does not take a lot of damage from either of those and is dropping its attack with Intimidate. That will then use up its Bug Gem because it has that. It's then going to want to go for Liquidation or Aqua Jet into Granbull. We can then swap into Walrein, who takes those well. After the attack drop, it also takes Leech Life really good. We use Super Fang to cut its HP in half. It gets forced into Armaldo, who should see KO with Stone Edge, and if it doesn't, it'll go for Swords Dance. Either is fine. We swap into Kingdra. Kingdra outspeeds Armaldo because of Rain. One-hit KOs with Octazooka. Golisopod comes back in. First Impression is refreshed, but it won't have its Bug Jeb anymore. I think we'll be safe, but yeah, I think we have the option of First Impression, swap to Granbull, drop its attack. It then goes for Liquidation or Aqua Jet. We swap into Roserade, who takes those really well. Magical Leaf does at least 50%. We did 50% damage to it with Super Fang earlier. With specifically Miracle Seed. I do think we need Miracle Seed for it. Does it work if we don't have Miracle Seed? It does work if we don't have Miracle Seed. Get Miracle Seed anyways. Yeah. Okay. This plan should work fine. So, into the Pokemon Center we go. Grab ourselves. Also, Newt, have you done your Wind Straight line yet? Got you. Need Torterra. Need Granbull. Duchess's grand debut. Need a Walrein. Need a Kingdra. It's just confirming Golisopod has even HP. Correct. Golisopod is 144. Emergency exit procs at exactly 50%. Not yet, my PC finally stopped turning on, so I've been setting up a new one. Well, I guess I'm glad you fucking predicted that. Though I am sorry, of course. That's unfortunate. Okay. We have a bunch of Oran Berries now, right? Yeah. I'm gonna give an Oran Berry to Roserade just in case. Give an Oran Berry to Ella Atea. Give an Oran Berry to Havara. Give a Citrus Berry to Turtle. I think we already gave an Oran Berry to Duchess. Indeed we did. And a Pecha Berry to Noelle. It's nice that Noelle finally gets to be a part of fights. That she serves a specific role that can't quite be fulfilled by Roserade. Wait, no, Roserade can absolutely one-hit KO this Politoed. But then it baits in Golisopod second. Yeah, we want to deal with that later. Okay. Yeah, I think there's no world where HP is low enough that Barrascuda goes for anything but close combat into Sawsbuck. Oh, geez, Skarmory Stealth Rocks fight. Yeah, have fun with that one. I find Fake Out's really useful for that fight because it essentially kind of blanks the red card and lets you get a free swap into either your Skarmory counter or your Rapid Spinner. Okay. Pecha Berry. Citrus Berry. Orin. Do you get to choose what comes in after red card? No. Ideally, you want to bring a suite of Pokemon that all bait the same attack. Because I brought it so that all of my Pokemon baited dual wing beat or were Arcanine, my Skarmory counter. And so that way Arcanine swaps into dual wing beat really well if Skarmory decides not to go for Stealth Rocks. And then the second Pokemon that came in was fought well by Eldegoss, my Rapid Spinner, which I think was like Crocodile or something like that. Okay. Yeah, I just have no answers for this fight in particular. I get that. It's one of the harder fights. Okay, Fisherman Kai. He sends out Politoed. We send out Noelle. Politoed sets up Drizzle. Politoed has Scald, Psychic, Toxic, and Protect. It's probably going to Toxic us turn 1. That's why we have the Pecha Berry. We are going to use Horn Leech. We outspeed 2-hit KO with Horn Leech. Psychic. Interesting. I believe I also did the math. If it did go for Scald, we would have to have like min-rolled both times with Horn Leech to not KO. Honestly, getting that leftovers tick is good for us because that's more HP that we get to heal with Horn Leech. Okay. Next up should be Barrascuda, who always sees that it outspeeds and one-hit KOs with close combat. I think. Because we don't have priority. Yeah, okay. I'm like, it doesn't get weird because we also one-hit KO it, right? And it has a priority move, yeah. So it's going to go for close combat, which is a free swap into Torterra. Goes for close combat. Does on its upper end about 30%. We took 53. Second to highest roll. Its highest damaging move now is Liquidation. It does a max of 103. That will proc our Citrus Berry, and then we will Giga Drain all of, well, not all of our health back, but a lot of our health back. Defense Drop might make Armaldo come in second. I don't think it's that big a deal if Armaldo comes in next. Because I think Armaldo kind of gets swept by Kingdra in pretty much any circumstance. Okay, yeah. Did make Armaldo come out. Yeah, because it sees KO with X-Scissor after the defense drop. Let me make sure. Does it see KO with Liquidation? It does not. So it's always going to be X-Scissor here, which is kind of fine, TBH. X-Scissor does less damage to Kingdra than Stone Edge does and isn't high crit. So we are going to swap to Ella Atea. Ooh, but this might make it weird because we were planning on... I mean, it's slower. No, we should be fine. Okay. It has Swift Swim and a Lumberry. We have Swift Swim and whatever. We one-hit KO with Octa. Okay. So we're a little offline. In comes Golisopod. Golisopod can see one-hit KO with First Impression, not Leech Life. So it's going to go for that. We are going to swap to Duchess for the Intimidate drop and to burn its Bug Gem. First impression does at most 26% without crit. Nice. Okay. It no longer has its bug gem. It is now going to go for liquidation that does a max of 50%. We are going to swap to Havara. Liquidation defense drops is awkward. Okay. Yeah, no, this becomes really awkward, actually. It's going to go for Leech Life. How much damage does a crit Leech Life do? It caps out at 145. How much does Leech Life... Leech Life doesn't do that much to Kingdra. I think instead of using Super Fang, because it's going to heal with Leech... Or because it's... No, it wouldn't heal with Leech Life, because... Oh no, we are faster than it. I think I'm going to use Charm. Wait, let me just make sure. Our defense is at -1. Crit Leech Life. 145 does not kill us. Okay. So its attack is now at -3. Crit Leech Life can now kill us. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to swap to Granbull, who takes nothing from Leech Life, to then get the free swap into Ella Atea. I wonder, how much damage does Noelle do? Noelle does not do a lot. Noelle does not take a lot either. So, swap to Duchess. Because we're kind of in an awkward moment where we're now... It's like, if we get crit by something untoward, life gets hard. We've dropped its attack into the ground. Oh, wait, but Turtle can't be crit. Okay. Most damage Leech Life can do. Notably, Golisopod is 1 speed slower than Torterra. Leech Life does at most 42. I think we're safe to fight this thing with Turtle. There's a chance it goes for liquidation, but if it does that, we can just loop Duchess again. We could also... Because while Duchess is in it, it could go for liquidation. Crit Leech Life on this thing can do 99 damage. It's gonna go for liquidation right now. That's for certain. I would prefer to not get liquidated. Because I guess I'm just worried about a really unfortunately timed crit. But I think at its current HP, Torterra always wins this, right? It heals more with Giga Drain than it does with Leech Life. We can heal up to full HP with Synthesis before we start attacking. As long as we don't get, like... Havara. Now that your defense has been reset, how much can a crit Leech Life do to you? 96? And liquidation won't do that much. Okay, let's try to swap to Havara to see if we can get a safe Super Fang. Okay, good. No defense drop. A critical hit Leech Life does 96 damage. Okay, we're gonna use a Super Fang. Good. Our Oranberry makes it so that a critical hit leech life still doesn't kill us. We might actually just be able to use Super Fang and then Surf. Because, yeah, high roll crit leech life is 96. Lowest roll on Surf is 29%. I think we KO. Because it's been getting non-crits. So let's assume it gets the max healing off of these, which would be 11. So 144 divided by 2 is 72. Plus 11 is 83. Divided by 2 is 42. Plus 11 is 53. No, Surf would not kill. And a crit leech life could kill us. Okay. So I think here's where we swap to Torterra. Or no, we swap to Granbull. Actually, Granbull might be able to secure KO with Play Rough. Hell, how much fucking PP does Leech Life have? 10? Okay. Because, yeah, Duchess definitely will not take a lot from crit leech life. Caps out at 35%. So it won't heal a lot off of it. And then I think we can send in Roserade to secure KO. Intimidate drops it to -5, because why not? Goes for Aqua Jet. There we go. Okay, I think it might be stuck using Aqua Jet, actually. Because it sees that we can potentially KO with Play Rough. So now we are safe to swap into the turtle. Yep, okay. Go for Giga Drain and Seed Bomb, do the same damage, so we'll do Giga. Well, had to do a little bit of steering there in the middle, but thankfully, thankfully we pulled it back. Honestly, in case of emergency, Charm is so powerful. It's just really nice to keep on some guys. Okay, Jesus. Let's go heal. And while we do that, I will clean off Fisherman Kai. Next up we have Fisherman Claude, who is the last fight that we have pre-calced, which is also a kind of scary fight. Why did I do this fight this way? Oh, I know why we did. Okay. So, we're playing around Boom. We're making sure that Maisie does not get boomed. Should be fine. Torterra. Vaporeon. Swap back to Toge. Bring Sawsbuck, just in case. Roserade beats Clawitzer. Nice, we have an open team slot. Honestly, I'll take anything that fights this fucking Vaporeon. delicious coffee. Bless you, wife. Bless you. Chat, you better bless my wife's infinite magnanimous... Magnato. Magnanimy? Yeah, magnanimy. Defect Lancer, well, yeah. I'll bring Electros as our last guy. Okay. I think this is potentially the last fight before our encounter, which is exciting. I'm hoping this fight doesn't require steering, but I think it might end up requiring steering. Okay, Sawsbuck. Or hopefully we got out all of the bad RNG last fight. Entirely possible that that was the case, she says, coping. Okay. So, we need to equip Maisie with an Asperberry. We need to equip Noelle and Electros with Rostberries. Oh, I didn't realize. I guess we already planned to bring Electros. Okay, cool. And equip Roserade with a Persimberry. Nothing pre-planned for Torterra, which makes sense. It just kind of fights. It just kind of fights Empoleon and wins. Because, yeah, assuming we get the special defense drop off Flash Cannon, it's not going to change anything. Yeah. It never gets 2-hit KO'd. And it shouldn't ever go for Waterfall to flinch stall us. Yeah. We'll give Torterra an Oranberry just in case. And then, in case we need Pari, we will also give her an Oranberry. We just need to make sure that she is weak enough for Quillfish to always see KO with Poison Jab, which means setting her HP to 92. Pre-damage. Also gotta send a text real quick, I just realized. Making sure we have you for Rihanna's here today. There we go. Okay. So, pre-damage, slot number 1 to 92. Good. I actually might need to do a slight bit of AI testing. It's not AI testing, it's mechanics testing. I reserve the right to reload this fight, because we are baiting this Quillfish into using Poison Jab to hit our Togedemaru, so that way it gets the chip from Iron Barbs. I believe it should work even though Togedemaru doesn't actually take any damage, but if that's not how that works, I reserve the right to do a quick little reload. Because who would have suspected? It doesn't work like that? What do you mean it doesn't work like that? So you're saying that Poison Jab won't do recoil damage to Togedemaru? Or won't take recoil damage? Really? I do request permission, I guess, to go see it for myself. Like, can confirm? Okay. So, shit, I guess I'm glad I checked. In that case, it just means... Oh, muscle band isn't super consistent either. Uh-oh. It's like mostly consistent. What's the lowest roll on Fake Out is 19. The lowest roll on Zing Zap is 110. Won't be suffering from Intimidate. Do you need Iron Barb's damage? Iron Barb's is what guarantees the KO, because we do have Fake Out into Zing Zap. Because the goal was to kill this thing before it got off Explosion. Or Toxic Spikes. I could... Well, no, I couldn't guaranteed bait it into using... Well, I could find a different Pokemon to bait it into using Waterfall. Hell, I wouldn't even need to pre-damage Arcanine that much. It would suck for Togedemaru to take so much damage from Waterfall. And then, because it would need to swap in on Ice Beam from Vaporeon. It does take a lot from Ice Beam and Scald together. But it at least makes it so we bait Scald into Sawsbuck. We have Electros if we need it. Okay, I think it should be fine. Because slow kill on Waterfall is still always higher priority than exploding. And then if Togedemaru takes the recoil damage, Asper Berry, Oranberry, Rostberry. This is a riskier fight than I thought it would be then. Because this is specifically to make sure that Quillfish doesn't set up Spike's turn 1. Because we kind of have a hard time getting in a Rapid Spinner against these Pokemon, because most of them have things that can fuck up Eldegoss. And obviously they all fuck up Excadrill. Because Waterfall into Togedemaru definitely means that it gets KO'd. Because this thing also has like a Focus Sash. It's just Fake Out into Zing Zap doesn't do that much damage. Like it does, but it's not a guaranteed KO. Punished again by our Togedemaru being modest. And of course you can one-hit KO at Torterra, but you're slow as balls. Because it's just their Vaporeon that's scary. We definitely want Hamilton over Pari in this case. Because the other issue with this Vaporeon is that it has a substitute Baton Pass. And we don't want to get caught in a bad situation with that. Honestly, we could still just bring Eldegoss as our 6th instead of Electros. Because it swaps into everything really good. Yeah, I could swap it in KO Clawitzer easy. Because it's going to come in against Torterra. And basically be guaranteed to see KO with Ice Beam, because Torterra will have taken some damage from Vaporeon. We then do swap into Togedemaru against Ice Beam. It has leftovers, so Fake Out Chip kind of doesn't mean anything. Yeah. Though I will say, after Ice Beam and Waterfall, odds are good that we've taken enough damage to guaranteed Beta Scald. Oh, wait, we could swap into Arcanine instead of Togedemaru when baiting that Ice Beam. Because then we guaranteed Beta Scald into, like, Sawsbuck. And, like, Sawsbuck should be able to 1v1 Vaporeon. I think this line is essentially risking Sawsbuck to an Ice Beam crit. And even then, I think we're not that in danger. I think we should be fine. Okay, so we bring Arcanine, we still have Togedemaru, we still have Torterra, Sawsbuck, Roserade, and we get Eldegoss as a backup in case something goes wrong. But I think this should work. Okay. We do still need to pre-damage Arcanine to 168. Pre-damage 168. There we go. Waterfall hits Togedemaru. Togedemaru takes upwards of 45%, but now we only need Togedemaru for this part of the fight, so it should be fine. Recoil damage does 12.5%. Fake Out does 12.5%. That's a quarter of its max HP. Lowest roll on Zing Zap does 50% of its max HP. I'm honestly actually thinking... No, we leave it as is. We still have it with an Asper Berry just in case. Which I think we already equipped everyone's items. Yep. Asper, Orin, Rost, Bursum, Orin. Yeah. Rapid Spin doesn't clear away substitutes, does it? Okay. Yeah, truly I think all we need is Oranberry just in case, like, something goes weird. And assuming we suffer some unfortunate crits against Clawitzer, we can just spam Synthesis to heal back up. Okay. This should work. Well, I'm glad I asked about the poison jab thing in advance. Because that would have been really embarrassing to fuck up in real time. God damn it, the Kindler is after him. Okay, we have another fight after this, and unfortunately, this next fight I have not calced. What do I have on you, Arcanine? Let's give you an Asper Berry. In case we need you for something, and we swap you into that Ice Beam and you get frozen. Okay, this is a 4-Pokemon team. Say hello to Fisherman Claude. Claude sends out a Quillfish. We send out a Hamilton. Quillfish has Intimidate and a Focus Sash. Against Hamilton, it sees that it can KO with Waterfall, which means it will prioritize using that over Toxic Spikes. I should have pre-paralyzed Hamilton, shouldn't I? Hold on. Hold on. I might request a quick little walk back before turn 1 happens, because I think I did realize that I might have forgotten one small thing. I think we need to show this fast kill to guarantee that it goes for a waterfall. Because, yeah, slow kill is +9. Toxic Spikes, if it's first turn out, has a 75% chance to be +9. Yeah, okay. I did it before we had turn 1. I think that's fair. Because I realized, I'm like, oh, wait, no, I should probably do this thing too to guarantee maximum consistency. Yeah, slow kill and spikes can overlap. So we're going to pre-para so that way it's fast kill and spikes. Because fast kill will always go for it. Glad I caught myself. Because that entire line would have been fucked immediately. It would have relied, like, spikes would have been put out, which would have made all of our other Pokemon really, like, difficult to, like, do their fights. It's not guaranteed that Togedemaru would have 2-hit KO'd. The entire thing would have fallen apart. And now that Hamilton is paralyzed, Quillfish sees a fast kill on it. I suppose I don't need to give it an Asper Berry anymore, so, yeah, keep your Oranberry, buddy. You're doing great. Take 2. Yeah, it's not even slow kill and spikes can overlap. It's that slow kill and spikes are likely to overlap. Okay. In comes Hamilton, who is now slow as balls. Quillfish sees like +12 to get it with Waterfall. We are going to swap to Maisie. Iron Barbs does chip. Fake Out does chip. Critical hit? Well, shit. And now we outspeed and KO with Zing Zap. Now, is it still Empoleon that comes out next? Yes, because Empoleon has Earthquake. Ooh, actually, it might be Clawitzer. Oh shit, yeah, I think Clawitzer is going to come in next, actually. I did not consider the fact that, by fucking with the line like this, I would fuck with Switch Order. This is kind of okay. It's going to use Aura Sphere into Togedemaru, which is actually its lowest damaging move into Roserade, so this is kind of perfect. Let me just double check, I make sure. Iapapa Berry, I believe, is just a healing berry. Iapapa Berry. Yep, just restores HP. Yeah, no, I forgot to consider how that might affect Switch AI. Aura Sphere does at most 18% without crit. We are going to use Magical Leaf, which should always one-hit KO. Let me make sure about this. Did I forget to equip this thing with a fucking Miracle Seed? Okay, no, Magical Leaf always one-hit KOs. Like, it'd be fine. The most damage this thing does is, like, 36% with Dark Pulse. And if it heals off its Iapapa Berry, boo-hoo, we kill it in 2 hits anyways. Okay, out comes Empoleon, who sees highest damage move here is Earthquake. Technically, Earthquake has overlap with Flash Cannon. That's fine. Torterra does swap better into Earthquake, though. It has Defiant and Leftovers. Honestly, having Vaporeon be their 4th Pokemon low-key made this line safer for us. Because Vaporeon has a Baton Pass and Substitute, so it can just kind of be a menace. We one-hit KO with Earthquake. Battle of the Sinnoh Starters. I appreciate that Ooh, wait, actually, hold on. We might want Turtle to be at lower HP. Okay, it's not a guarantee to see a kill with Ice Beam. I think that's kind of fine, though. Like, even if it sets up Substitute, we're kind of okay. So yeah, against Torterra, this Vaporeon is going to either go for Ice Beam or Substitute. Arcanine takes at most 12% with Ice Beam, so we are going to swap to Hamilton. Ice Beam. This Fisherman's also playing Run and Bun, just picked a different starter. Real. Okay. It's now going to go for Scald. We have Noelle equipped with a Rostberry, just in case. I'm glad I got that Rostberry. Okay. I believe we're safe because Hornleech is going to heal us to full, and a critical hit Ice Beam cannot kill us. I think the only way this becomes a situation is if we get, like, Ice Beam frozen, and then we just, like, swap to Arcanine and then into, like, Roserade. Okay. I love tripping into a safer line. Unfortunately, we have to start calcing again, and this next one isn't gonna be fun. But I think if we get past him, I believe we get our next grass encounter. I'm being patient, chat. I'm being patient and disciplined. I could pull the water encounter, but I'm saving it for the grass. Cascadia redeems a show beast. Cascadia, would you like a large beast or a small beast? Large beast? Understood. I will go hunt down the large beast. Let me just... People keep talking about this Mr. Beast guy, and you know, I think I get the hype. He's pretty cool. Buddy. Buddy. Why are you being so squirmy? Unfortunately, he's here to be tormented. Okay. He doesn't want to play. I'm sorry, Cascadia. I don't want to jostle him too much. But yeah, next up is Kindler Bernie, who I've done some looking at. His fight is uncomfortable because it has... None of its Pokemon are that crazy dangerous, but they're just scary enough. And they're, like, unpredictable. The main issue is he has a Gluttony Simisear with a Starfberry, but it also has Substitute, and it's really fast. So if it's faster than our Pokemon and gets off the Substitute... Tearing my hair out, trying to find extended instrumental slow versions of Don't Forget, Losing My Mind. I told you it's difficult, because shockingly, like, zero covers of it seem to exist out there. But yeah, so the thing is, because of Gluttony, if this thing uses Substitute twice, its Starfberry will proc. And then it gets +2 to one of its stats at random. And that could spell trouble. Because it's like, this thing theoretically gets one-hit KO'd by, like, Nidoking. I suppose maybe if we can, like, bait it into Focus Blast, and then we let the Focus Blast hit Eldegoss, and then we get a -1 to its speed, and then it probably sees kill with Fire Blast, and at that point Nidoking outspeeds. Okay, maybe that'll work. Because how much... Arcanine, how much damage do you take from Focus Blast? A good chunk. And notably, nothing else on its move list does that much damage to you. And it outspeeds you. Okay. So we would need to pre-damage Arcanine in such a way. The problem becomes Rotom Heat. Because even with a Hard Stone, we're not guaranteed to one-hit KO. Thunderbolt can paralyze us. Thunderbolts and Lightning, very, very frightening me. I could theoretically turn 1 Extreme Speed, turn 2 Rock Slide. Because, like, let's assume we have a Cherry Berry in case of Thunderbolt Para. Export. Import. Lowest roll on Thunderbolt is 57. We need to get our HP down to 94. So, 94 plus 57 is 151. So I think equip Arca with Cherry Berry. Because Rotom won't ever go for Nasty Plot because it sees that we outspeed and 2-hit KO. Because sadly, we just don't have anything that has, like, any good sound-based moves. Like, we could, in theory, wreck this Simisear's shit with Kingdra. We just need to make sure that it's slow. Okay. And if we give Kingdra Wise Glasses, doesn't matter if it gets burned by Fire Blast. Okay. So we open with Arcanine against Rotom Heat. If we pre-damage... Hold on. Pre-damage Arca to 151. So, Arcanine is at 151 HP. It gets hit by Rotom Heat's Thunderbolt, takes 57 damage. Guaranteed next comes in Simisear, because even though we one-hit KO it, it sees that it outspeeds us and one-hit KOs with Focus Blast. Focus Blast does a minimum of 94 damage, so it should see that. Now, let's check if we get hit by Crit Thunderbolt. Crit Thunderbolt does upwards of 100 damage. If we have 151, I suppose it would just be minus 100, brings to 51. I think... Yeah, Acrobatics doesn't see 51, Fire Blast doesn't see 51. Okay, Simisear always goes for Focus Blast. Perfect. Because Fast Kill will definitely out-prioritize Substitute. Okay, so open with Arca. OH, or use... We want to specifically use E-Speed turn 1, because if we crit with Rock Slide, we kill Rotom Heat, we don't take enough damage to bait in Simisear second. Use E-Speed. KO with R Slide. Swap to Simi. At least I believe that's how this works. See, the funny thing is that actually we don't even need We don't even need Kingdra. Because against Eldegoss, it'll always bait Fire Blast, which is a free swap back into Hamilton at -1 speed. We always KO with Rock Slide. Explosion, Fire Blast. See, what's frustrating about this Skunk Tank is that, like, everything that's good at tanking Explosion... Well, annoyingly, the best thing for fighting the Skunk Tank is Arcanine. Or Nidoking. But the problem is that if it goes for Explosion turn 1, Nidoking always dies. And that's not good. We could potentially do a swap into Steelix, pre-damage Steelix enough so that way, because... Well, here, let's see what comes in second anyways. So, swap to Elda, swap to Arca, OHKO with our Slide. Because I believe Simisear always gets one-hit KO'd, even without Heartstone. Yeah. And at this point, it'll be at -1. It couldn't have gone for Substitute because Focus Blast into Eldegoss. Focus Blast could miss. I think as long as we pre-damage Eldegoss... Okay. So let's assume we pre-damage Eldegoss to 102. Ooh, but if Focus Blast misses, then Eldegoss won't get the speed drop. And that's not good. We could just, like, equip Seismitoad with a Citrus Berry and send it in and hope for the best. Spam Mud Shot until its speed gets dropped. I hate to say that might be our best bet, but I think that might be our best bet, right? Like, Simisear comes in, swap to Seismitoad. It's gonna go for Focus Blast. If it misses... Yeah... Because, like, we have a lot of Pokemon that fight Simisear well. It is truly just the, like, oh yeah, the Starfberry of it all. Thankfully, Substitute is, like, only a +6 to be used. Yeah, because Fire Blast does too much damage to Nidoking. I wouldn't want to risk that. Could swap to Nomo, do a flip turn. With Black Glasses, Zoroark could kill with Knockoff after dying to Focus Blast. Because it's like Talonflame fights this thing well enough, right? Because... Okay, we swap Talonflame into a Focus Blast. Simisear then sees that its highest damaging move is Fire Blast. We use Acrobatics. Acrobatics will proc Starfberry. If it becomes stronger than us, that doesn't matter, because we can still KO it before it goes before us. And if it becomes faster, it could matter. Because Focus Blast and two Fire Blasts and a Focus Blast is a lot. Octazooka doesn't somehow shoot around this thing, does it? We are slower. Thankfully, Kingdra always lives 2 crit focus blasts. It's like, I just wish we had a sound move. I don't suppose I have any TMs for sound moves, do I? Or like a tutor that can teach a sound move? Because if you have a sound move, it never goes for substitute. It's like we got rid of all of our good speed control. Because it's like, Kingdra needs Wise Glasses in order to be able to one-hit KO, otherwise I would say just give Kingdra Citrus Berry. That's right, muffins! Thank you, Muffin Wife! Chat, we have been delivered a bounty. Apple cinnamon muffins. Oh, she's hot. But yeah, no, it's like every roll on liquidation, but 2 one-hit KOs this thing. Hydro Pump can miss, but it can one-hit KO. Really, all we need to do is get off a Mud Shot. We could do something like use Roserade to take Focus Blast and then bait Fire Blast on something that switches into that better. There's a suspiciously green projectile approaching your location. I can hear you going, nyum, nyum, passing over restricted airspace. Like, I know I'm swapping into Focus Blast is the thing, right? Open an east-facing window and take the screen out. Turtle, I love that you think that at the speed you're going, the screen would stop you. Man, I never thought I'd say this. I really wish I had the ring target. Because, like, Focus Blast is, like, what, 75% accurate in this? %. No, I don't want to puncture it. Then you have to replace it. Aw, Turtle. We live in an apartment complex. They do that for us. I suppose we could potentially create a branching line where we bring Eldegoss with the expectation she gets hit by Focus Blast. And if she doesn't, then we swap into something like Seismitoad. Who then, like... Because Eldegoss will bait Fire Blast, so it gives Seismitoad as much time as possible to kill this thing. I don't trust management to deal with that in a timely manner. You're so sweet to us, Turtle. I could also see if I have a different Pokemon that can handle Rotom Heat and bait, like, Focus Blast off Simisear. So that way I can keep Arcanine for Skuntank. Like, none of what Skuntank does causes that much damage to happen. Because, like, not a guaranteed one-hit KO. I don't think it'd work if we gave you Soft Sand. In theory, if we swap in Lixie. As long as we have something that baits Fire Blast off of Skuntank. Pre-poison Lixie, so that way she can't get burned. Give her Soft Sand. I think that makes Stomping Tantrum a one-hit KO. Oh, it's not. That's unfortunate. Though, in theory, as long as we bait Fire Blast into something, and then, you know, like, oh yeah, Knockoff does more damage to Lixie than Fire Blast. Especially after the Fire Gem is gone. Like... Because, like, we really don't care if the Skuntank uses Explosion on Steelix. It does less damage. Or, in theory, we can take care of Skuntank easy if we can just make sure we bait it in last. Which isn't that hard. God, 250 defense on this thing is insane. With possibly the best nature it could have. Rose, you can't have a cinnamon roll. That's cannibalism. I will say, though, the problem with baiting in Skuntank last is that it's kind of difficult because it has Explosion. And Druddigon is slower than Skuntank, so it's very difficult for Skuntank, or like Druddigon can't see a fast KO on something that Skuntank sees a slow KO on. Alright. Food eaten. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. I'll be back in just a moment. I return. I return from the pisser. There. But yeah, so our situation. Because, like, against Hamilton... Yeah, the problem is that anything that effectively lives explosion rebaits... Like, it doesn't bait Drudagon in next. Thankfully, we can beat Drudagon pretty easy with something like Walrein. We just need to make sure to not get cheesed by Rough Skin Rocky Helmet. Hell, Muscle Band Granbull gets it, actually. That could also be an option, though. Swap Granbull into Skunk Tank to get the Intimidate off. Ideally tank Fire Blast. It then at least lets it so that anything that could get killed by explosion only does so on a crit. Okay. So, let's see. Bring Eldegoss. We want to pre-damage Eldegoss so that even if Focus Blast misses, we still bait Fire Blast. So. Or we could just do this in a weird and dumb way, but... Lixie, why couldn't you be fast? Why is everything in this game have a fucking plus speed nature? It's like, we can't set up Tailwind on this thing. Rotom Heat's got Thunderbolt. Is there anything that beats this Rotom Heat well, and then baits Focus Blast? Kingdra doesn't outspeed. Definitely not Electros. Definitely not Togedemaru. Though, notably, it is not a Ghost type, so we could at least use Fake Out on it. But it has a white herb, so 2 ticks of Overheat will be done at max damage. Hitmonchan with fucking Sky Uppercut? Sure, my guy, why not? Zoroark dies to Overheat. Steelix can kill it with Explosion. Gorbis likely dies to Thunderbolt. Funny enough, the only other thing that we have that kind of effectively fights Rotom Heat is Seismitoad at 2-hit KOs with Liquidation. We would take 2 full power Overheats, but... that should be fine. Or 1 full power Overheat with a nasty plot boost. Because if we slow 2-hit KO, I think it can still use a setup move. But also, if Liquidation crits, it would 1-hit KO, which would be inconsistent. Yeah, no, this fight's just, like, secretly really devious. And obviously Rotom has Levitate, so we can't do anything about that. Like, I'm pretty sure the thing is, Seismitoad definitely always lives. Why is it not showing how much damage? Hold on. Why is that what shows its damage going up? Okay, there's something bugged about this thing's Overheat. It's like... base damage is... upper end is 28. Yeah, no, none of its stats are changing. Is it because of its White Herb? No. No, it just seems to be broken. Well, that's strange. Yeah, no, taking 2 overheats isn't guaranteed to bait in. Well, Simisear wouldn't come in because we'd likely have too much health. And it would see that we one-hit KO it with Liquidation or Hydro Pump. Probably go to Skunk Tank, which would go for what, knockoff into Seismitoad or Explosion. If we swap to Gramble. If we swap to Gramble, we do live Explosion, but yeah, no. Okay. So I do think we have Gramble as our answer to Skunk Tank Go Boom. I think that's a pretty solid... Aftermath only makes you take damage if you kill it with a contact move, right? If this Pokemon is knocked out with a contact move, that move's user loses 1/4 of its maximum HP rounded down. This effect is prevented if the user has the Magic Guard ability or if any active Pokemon has Damp. Cute. Okay. Because it's like... Seismitoad kind of can't fight this Druddigon. It's like, in theory, if we gave Havara a Cherry Berry, I think it always beats Druddigon. So there's Roll Compression there. I just wish I had a thing that could guarantee drop Simisear's speed. But Fire Blast still does a good bit into Seismitoad, actually. We could make it Kingdra. I mean, it's going for Focus Blast no matter what. Wise Glass is Kingdra, but we could give Seismitoad a Citrus Berry. And at that point, I think that would give it better odds. As long as we can get off a Mud Shot. And then it definitely baits in Skunk Tank second. Yeah. Okay. And then Skunk Tank we handle by intimidating it with Granbull. And baits Fire Blast. Which could then swap into Seismitoad. Seismitoad could get it with Mud Shot into Earth Power. It'd obviously be a risk, but... once it doesn't have the Fire Gem anymore, Fire Blast becomes much less of an issue. -1. Kingdra lives. So I'm just trying to think. Explosion. So it'll come in on Seismitoad. CKO with Explosion. Or highest move would be Knockoff. That's fine. Swap into Gramble. Swap to Kingdra. Why does this fight have to be so awkward? It's like, hell, if we give Arcanine freaking Silk Scarf, that still wouldn't do it, actually. Never mind. Because it's a question of what do we want to have be our thing that fights Simisear if Eldegoss... like, if Simisear whiffs Focus Blast. We could also rely on the fact that, no, we wouldn't be able to outspeed and synth up. Okay. This fight's so annoying. Truly, all I need is guy who go fast. I need a sticky web Pokemon. Yeah. Nidoking absolutely demolishes these guys. You are speed 110. Makes you faster than Kingdra. Because Seismitoad is an okay Skunk Tank answer after dropping its attack to live all non-crit explosions. It's not affected by Fire Blast because it's a special attacker. We Mud Shot to drop it into KO range, lower its speed so we can outspeed and get it with Earth Power. But that means we would need to use Kingdra into Simisear, which means we wouldn't get a Citrus Berry if we wanted to guarantee one-hit KO. And I assume we want to guarantee one-hit KO, because if that thing gets its Starf Berry off, things can get scary. Okay. That being said, this is as a backup in case Eldegoss, like, dies. Or doesn't die, but you know. Okay, so let's do the math here. Let's assume Focus Blast misses. We need to pre-damage Eldegoss to 102. 143 minus 102. It's 41. Because then at least we're rating Fire Blast, which does a lot less damage into Kingdra. Okay, so Oko with Rock Slide. Or sorry, hold on. Pre-damage Arca to 151. Pre-damage Elda to 102. Now let's assume that Eldegoss does in fact get hit by Focus Blast at 102 HP. And that Focus Blast is a critical hit. That does 64, dropping us to 38. Focus Blast would see kill. Acrobatics would see kill. But if we gave... well... Acrobatics wouldn't be as big a deal. Acrobatics into Kingdra's fine. So I think as long as we give it an Oran Berry... because, yeah, both Acrobatics and Fire Blast do not do any damage into Arcanine. And giving it an Oran Berry makes it so that if at 102 we get crit by highest possible Focus Blast, it drops us to 38. We heal up by 10, bringing us to 48. Regular Focus Blast never sees kill. So we get a safe swap back into Arcanine. Okay. Swap to Scun. Or Stun. No, Scun. Against Arcanine, it's likely to go for knockoff. Against Kingdra, it's likely to go for knockoff. We swap to Granbull. That's perfect. So that means that either version of the line, we reset back to having Granbull be the thing on the field. Swap to Scun. Because I don't know... does Cotton Down affect the Pokemon through Substitute? I don't think it does, right? The user takes a quarter of its max HP rounded down and puts it into a substitute to take its place in battle. The substitute is removed once enough damage is inflicted on it or if the user switches out or faints. Baton Pass can be used to transfer the substitute to an ally and the substitute will keep its remaining HP. Until the substitute is broken, it receives damage from all attacks made by other Pokemon and shields the user from status effects and stat changes caused by other Pokemon. Sound-based moves and the Pokemon with the Infiltrator ability ignore substitute. The user still takes normal damage from weather and status effects while behind its substitute. If the substitute breaks during a multi-hit attack, the user will take damage from any remaining hits. If a substitute is created while the user is trapped by a binding move, the binding effect ends immediately. Interesting. Fails if the user does not have enough HP remaining to create a substitute without fainting or if it already has a substitute. Okay. I think we can bring... Well, okay. So we have... So... Skunk Tank is going to get fought by Seismitoad. Yeah. Swap to Simi, swap to Scum. Thankfully, there's only a 1 in 5 chance that this line goes off the rails, and I'm pretty sure as long as we get the speed drop on Simisear, we're fine. Okay. And I will note, Seismitoad could still equip a Citrus Berry in case things go wrong with Kingdra while fighting Simisear. Okay. Swap to Gran. Swap to Size. Use M-Shot. KO with E-Power. Pre-damage. Equip Elda with Oranberry. Equip Arco with Cherry Berry. Swap to Skunk Tank. We swap to Granbull to drop its attack. If it explodes turn 1, Granbull should live as long as it doesn't crit. It will then go for Fire Blast into Granbull, which is fine. Seismitoad does not take a lot of damage from Fire Blast. Yeah. And in fact, likely does not take enough damage to be at risk of dying to explosion should a non-crit explosion happen. And Seismitoad only needs to live the turn it swaps in and the next turn. Okay, swap to Skun, KO with E-Power. Swap to Drud. Equip Arca and Waller with Cherry Berry. Swap to Waller. Yeah. Two-hit KO with F Breath. We can also potentially fight it a little bit with Seismitoad if we need to. Because Seismitoad can still be paralyzed by Glare. So I'm not gonna lie, this line is a lot messier than I'd like it to be, but I don't think I have a safer way to do it. This Simisear is kind of built to make all of your plans crumble to dust if things don't go right. Equip King with wise glasses. Okay, so that's 1 item, 2, 3 items, 4 items. Against Skunk Tank. So Esmetode's always going to bait knockoff, so I don't want to give it a citrus berry. Assuming it's not baiting explosion. Equip size with nothing. And then I think also equip Granbull with nothing, because Granbull's likely to swap into a knockoff. Size and Gran with nothing. Okay. This accounts for a potential steer. A lot has to go wrong for this fight to really go off the rails, I think. Like, it seems scary, but it's not actually that scary. So, move Pokemon. You know, I almost wonder. Nah, we wouldn't be able to KO Rotom with close combat. So like, ooh, if we KO Rotom with close combat, we actually don't need to pre-damage Arcanine as much. No. So we have you. We need Kingdra. Nice to have Ella Atea back on the team, finally. Also, Eldegoss should be in the second slot here. Also, you know, I was a little disappointed in getting a Granbull, but honestly, life is so nice when you have Intimidate on your team. It makes things so much simpler. I suppose, actually, if we do something like pre-poison Havara, or pre-burn... Actually, yeah, I think if we pre-burn Havara, give her a citrus berry, that makes Dredagon way safer. Because we're faster than Dredagon, so we don't want it to glare us, because then we could get locked up. Dragon Rush, yeah, basically can't 2-hit KO if it crits twice as long as we're holding a citrus berry. So yeah, let's do that. Okay. Let's give her a citrus. Thankfully, and we're coming up on our next citrus bush too, so that's why I'm kind of comfortable using using them a little more recklessly. It's like we have 42 of them. Breek, we don't want to have anything. Duchess, we don't want to have anything. Ella Atea, we are going to give the wise glasses. Hell, there's also a world where that Simisear procs its, Starfberry and gets fucking defense boost and then nothing happens to it. Like... Okay. Give Pari and Orin. I think there's also a chance that Focus Blast could drop Pari's special defense, and if that happens, that could also fuck with the line. We'd have to swap into Ella Atea. Wise glasses. Okay, now we just gotta do our pre-damage. Pre-damage, slot 1 to 151. Pre-damage, slot 2 to 102. Okay. This should be fine. I have to believe that it'll be fine. Otherwise, if I get too nervous, I will melt with indecision. Not every line can be perfect, April, and that's okay. Not every line can be perfect. 2, 3. All right, Bernie, let's go. Kindler Bernie would like to battle. Sends out Rotom. Rotom has Levitate and a White Herb. It's going to go for Thunderbolt into Arcanine. Because it sees that we outspeed and 2-hit KO, it should always go for that over Nasty Plot. Glad we got the Cherry Berry. Okay, good. We are now able to KO it with Rock Slide. Extreme Speed does minimum 27%, Rock Slide does minimum 78%. We should now show a KO to Simisear Focus Blast. It should try to get us with that. Rotom's White Herb restored its dead status. Good. Okay. It's always going to go for Focus Blast here. We are going to swap to Eldegoss. We want to see it hit. We want to see this Focus Blast land. Because that makes this line a whole lot simpler. Okay, good. We always live that. And we now always bait Fire Blast. It is at -1 speed. Fire Blast should still see KO. So it goes for that over Substitute. Arcanine takes at most 10% from Fire Blast. So we swap back to Hamilton. We could still potentially lose something to Skunk Tank, but the most unpredictable part of the fight is done. Okay. We now 1-hit KO with Rock Slide. Hamilton is currently not holding an item. I believe Skunk Tank still sees Knockoff as its highest damaging move here. Druddigon. That's good for us. Why Druddigon? Does it not use Explosion to calculate? We do more damage to Skunk Tank with close combat than it does to us with Explosion, so it sends in Druddigon. No, we do more damage to Druddigon with Rock Slide than it does to us with Dragon Rush. I don't understand. I'm not going to complain. This is strictly better for us. This means Skunk Tank can never explode. Which means we win, basically. Because now we swap to Havara. Druddigon here is likely to go for either Dragon Rush or Glare. We would prefer to see it go for Glare. Or just see Dragon Rush miss. That's also an option. Well, the thing is, oh yeah, because Arcanine outspeeds both Skunk Tank and Druddigon, so it doesn't even consider them for speed priority. Okay, cool. We outspeed 2-hit KO with Frost Breath. And now that Skunk Tank comes in last, it can never explode. Ooh, Havara might even be able to keep her Citrus Berry. I don't think so, but... No, yeah, I do think we keep it. Nice! Okay. Out comes Skunk Tank against Havara. It does see that its highest damaging move is Fire Blast. Thankfully, Granbull always lives crit Fire Blast. I think we're going to swap to it anyways. Hold on, against Havara. Yeah, there's a very small chance it goes for Sludge Bomb. I want the Intimidate drop. Makes the whole rest of this just a little smoother. Out comes Duchess. Intimidate drops attack. Hi, curses. Misses the Fire Blast? Sure, fuck it. Even with Fire Gem, Fire Blast does at most 16% to Seismitoad. We're fine to swap into Breek. Funny as hell. Ooh, Sludge Bomb also. That should be fine. We use Mud Shot to make it slower than us. And we win. Because now we outspeed KO. Earth Power. Jeez, okay. Yeah, no, that whole fight wound up being a lot nicer to us than I expected it to be. Earth Power does make contacts, we don't have to deal with Aftermath. I see a patch of grass. All right, gamers, next encounter upon us. Rabombi could be really good. Corviknight would be a high roll. Staraptor's really good. Dual Wing Beat and Tailwind is a nice combo to have. The only misses, kind of misses, are Vespiquen and Ledian. And even then, I wouldn't be too sad about either of those. We grab Jane because Jane can paralyze and has Super Fang. We grab Miss May because Miss May also has Super Fang. We basically just grab all of our Pokemon that have Super Fang and healing moves, right? This should work. Ooh, actually, Intimidate Mon would be good. We'll take these guys. I don't think there's anything on this route that can blow itself up, which is nice. I do think if we encounter Rabombi, it could have Shield Dust, which means we can't paralyze it, which is fine. Oop. Just give everyone Oran Berries. I swear to God, my favorite thing is giving a Pokemon an in case of emergency Citrus Berry and then seeing that Citrus Berry not proc. Every time we get to save a little bit of resources. Just a smidge. Send in Pari. There is also the really interesting 5% encounter of Sirfetch'd. Sadly, since we're encountering it here, Sirfetch'd only has a 5% chance to be holding Leak compared to Farfetch'd's 50%. Great Ball, Ultra Ball, honestly would not mind picking up a couple of these. I appreciate that they dropped the price of Pokeballs severely. Leak isn't worth it, trust me, I've tried. I mean, if you get like Leaf Blade, the thing is, it's an option, because it means you can use Leak to get guaranteed critical hits on Leaf Blade, and that is it. And it's nice to have the option, you know? Okay. So yeah, like I said, pretty much anything here is good. There's also a couple of dupes, I think like Roserade, some other things. Repellent is deactivated. Again, we'd love to see Rabombi, we'd love to see Corviknight or Staraptor. What are you gonna do? Alright, Ledian, what do you have? This is probably the worst hit we could get on this route, which is sad. So, you have... It is at least... Okay, it does get Encore, Tailwind, and Defog at this level. Yeah, it does have all of its best moves already. And it either has Rattled or Early Bird. I think we hope for Rattled. I don't know. Thunderwave. Okay. Super Fang. It has Rattled. I wonder if I pre-damage my Pokemon so they start the fight with less than half HP? Or is Rattled if it takes more than half its HP in one hit? Yeah, we'll throw an Ultra Ball at it. And again, if we can, or no, we're actually currently at level cap 54. So we do get to get this thing, we do get to get U-turn on this thing. It is said that it lands with clean air where it is said that in lands with clean air where the stars fill the sky, there live many Ledian. For good reason, they use the light of the stars as energy. Oh, raises speed when hit by a bug, dark, or ghost move. Okay, that's actually pretty nice, because that means we can basically guarantee it. Under the right circumstances. Or is intimed, apparently. That one I did know. Okay, let's look at responses. I don't think anyone submitted a Ledian. Nope. Hello, wife. Ooh, you know what we could do? Yeah, it's Marps time. Welcome back to the team, Marps. You were a Surskit in your last incarnation. Well, fingers crossed it has, like, okay bulk. We want good bulk and good speed. Like, Ledian provides certain kinds of utility that our team lacked up until this point. And that is worthwhile in and of itself. Bold. You know what? Not bad. We're not using this thing for its attack stat anyways, so like the minus attack nature is honestly okay. Defense boosting nature is nice. It has really good special defense. It could be a worse Ledian. And again, it has all of the moves we want it to have already. Yep, Defog, Tailwind, Encore, and then we're going to teach it U-turn over Comet Punch. 9 speed could be better, not gonna lie. Yes, legally speaking, 9 speed could be 10 speed, 11 or 12. Let me, like, try to cope with the fact that we got, like, the worst hit on this route. Air Slash. I'm not gonna bother because we're just gonna get... Because we do get U-turn at 52, right? 55. Okay, so we do want Air Slash, or we could get Bug Buzz. We want Bug Buzz. Yeah. $47, $48. Again, it could be worse. Alright, welcome to the team, Marps. What's your hidden power? But yeah, no, genuinely, like, at least we got its better ability. I'm quite happy about that. Terra Gramble, where is Ledigan? Gramble, Torterra, Zoroark, Excadrill, Lucario, Gorbis, Munchin, Eldegoss, Flagon, Nuking, Salsplash. Yeah, weird. Do I have to, like, close you? Tools, scripting. Just show me my Ledian's hidden power. It won't even matter in a couple minutes, but I want to know. Maybe if I load the regular script. Why are you being frustrating? Why do you need to be this difficult for me? Oh, is it hiddens? Okay. I didn't realize there's a separate command. There it is. Grass type hidden power. Thank you, Newt. Yeah, no, it's like, look, we can find ways to use this thing. Eventually, probably. Maybe. But yeah, no, with Rattled, it basically means that we have a way to, like, guarantee that this thing outspeeds something, and if it's, like, a dark move, and this thing takes dark moves, okay enough. You know, it's got a special defense of 137, which is worse than our Roserade. Marps, I hope you enjoy the box for a bit, bud. I'm sorry, buddy. Repellent is back on. We have to look at our next fight. I'm gonna mute the game and get us our cooking playlist. Shuffle. Okay. So next up we have Picnicker Angelina, who opens with a cheeky little Dawn fan that has a Sturdy and Custap Berry. Okay. Yeah, we could do a slow flip turn. Oh, our box is growing. We actually have, like, a quantity of Pokemon. Okay. It speed ties with Gramble. That's not great. So it's got Earthquake, Stone Edge, Knockoff, and Endeavor. With a Custap Berry, which gives its next move. It doesn't give it priority, but it lets it act at the top of its priority bracket if it gets knocked within a quarter of its max HP. You don't want to do flip turns. Slow actually are more likely to get water up your nose. Swimming joke. I love you, Turtle. You're a paragon of this community. Yeah, 2-hit KO with, like, Liquidation. But if we crit Liquidation, we would proc the Custap Berry. Because, yeah, the goal here would be to, like, chip it with something and then get a KO. Eldegoss actually wouldn't be too bad here. Always lives crit Stone Edge. If we give it no item, it will never go for knockoff. Rapid Spin to do a little Love Tap. Leaf Storm to secure KO. I don't hate that. Because, like, if we're giving you an item, yeah, it would potentially go for knockoff. Earthquake on Torterra could end up doing too much. Because the other thing is, if it's faster than us, we don't want it to get us with Endeavor. That being said, Earthquake, crit, doesn't do 75% of its max HP, so it never procs Custap. and then we Giga Drain off the HP that we lose. Kinda don't hate that. Hell, we could even Earthquake turn 1, spam, or Earthquake turn 1, Synthesis, then Giga Drain. So that way we're just about guaranteed to be at full HP. Because assuming we don't crit with Earthquake, yeah. Okay. I like this. God, get out of here, Kindler Bernie. Chat, I'm so bummed about Ledian. I tried to conceal how bummed I am about Ledian. I'm pretty bummed about Ledian. There were some really good hits. I was really hoping to have a Rabombi. Rabombi's such a good Pokemon, and it's a little cutie. Okay. Open with Donphan. Open with Tort. But every bad encounter we get just reassures me that I've been doing a great job keeping my guys alive. Okay. Open with Tort. Use Earthquake. Use Synthesis. Until full HP. KO with G-Drain. Okay. Who's likely to come in next? Inner Focus, Leftovers, Will-O-Wisp, Hypnosis, Zen Headbutt, Drain Punch. Ugh. Thankfully you get your shit rocked by Talonflame. God, why is Perugly so fast? Perugly takes more damage than it deals. Defiant, Silk Scarf, okay. As does Gallade. So I think it just comes out in team order. So it would be Gallade next. Swap to Gal. Or sorry, swap to Gall. Yeah, it goes for either Zen Headbutt, Will-O-Wisp, or Hypnosis. If we pre-poison Talonflame, it cannot be Hypnoised. We always live Zen Headbutt, including off of crit, and then we one-hit KO with Acro. Swap to Gall. Swap to Tallow. Poison Talon. OHKO with ACRO. BATICS. And the nice thing about this is it means that Perugly is never going to go for Hypnosis turn 1. Sorry, not it's Peru. Because it sees that our guy is already statused. And it's likely to go for Double Edge because that does more damage than Super Fang. Togedemaru, how much damage do you take from Double Edge? Jesus, Steelix! That's a super effective Stomping Tantrum! That's crazy! We don't want to use Screech because we would risk proccing, Defiant. Or not risk, we would proc Defiant. But yeah, if we let it Double Edge into Togedemaru, and then Togedemaru uses Fake Out, it won't really change that much now, will it? Yeah, no, I think we just bring like 2 Pokemon to fight this thing. Pre-Poison Talon. Or hell, actually, if we pre-Toxic Steelix, it gets the 2-hit KO with Gyro every time. Because against Talonflame, Perugly is going to go for Double Edge because Double Edge does more than 50%, so it'll always be more than Super Fang, and it can't Hypnosis if Talonflame is toxic. Steelix then takes Double Edge really well, takes 1/16 of its max HP. Perugly is going to go for Super Fang to cut Steelix's HP in half. I could just give it a Chesto Berry. Yeah, I think I'll just play it safe and give it a Chesto, and then... God, this thing's fast. And it does more damage with Stomping Tantrum than Double Edge, which is good, because that means we can pivot. Okay. And yeah, we just equip Steelix with a Chesto Berry, and then if it falls asleep, we swap it out. Like, if it gets us with Hypnosis twice. Equip Stee with Chesto Berry. Swap to Stee. Use G-Ball. Yeah. Try to KO with G-Ball. Swap to... So what's our backup? Don't want to take a Stomping Tantrum. Gramble. Intimidates. Because it'll always be Stomping Tantrum or Super Fang into Steelix. Hitmonchan with Mach Punch. Yeah, we don't even need Muscle Band. Just a Chesto Berry. Yeah, 67%. Okay. Equip Steelix with the Chesto Berry. Equip... And hit him with Chesto Berries. Swap to hit him. KO with Punch. Okay, cool. That should be too bad. Yeah, I just need something that, like, lives all of Purugly's hits really well. Which is most of our Pokemon. And bring, like, Walrein. Lucario. That should work. Uh-oh, banger alert. Okay. Torterra. Talonflame. Steelix. Hitmonchan. Walrein. And Lucario. Yeah, no, I'm looking at viewers right now. Chat, I genuinely cannot tell. Does Legends ZA drastically underperform for my channel's metrics? Or does Run and Bun just drastically overperform? I don't know. Okay. People like Bun. Apparently people like Bun. I don't even know what to say to that. Yeah, like, it's true. We don't want any item on Turtle. We obviously don't want anything on Scalpel. And then we just give everyone else Chesto Berries. I like big buns and I cannot lie. You know, Daggerman, honestly, God bless. I can't guilt a man for his love of buns. Yeah, no, I think I might just not continue playing Legends ZA on stream. I might just do that in my own time and just keep on running the buns. Playing ZA right now. Best Pokemon game in a while, MO. Yeah, no, honestly, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I just don't think it's great stream content for me. I don't know, maybe it's because I've just gotten so used to the fact that, like, with Run and Bun, I can literally talk, I can just yap forever. Pre-toxic. Okay, so. And it always, like, every stream always has, like, a hype or anxiety moment, generally. Pre-toxic 2. There we go. Wait, I don't want you pre-toxic. Well, actually, maybe I do want you pre-toxic. Swap in, KO. Yeah, no, 2 turns of toxic does less damage than 2 turns of poison. So next up is Lynette's house. Also, we have berries that we need to pick in a minute. She doesn't look like a mandatory fight, but I'm pretty sure she is. There we go. I will never get tired of this song. Alright, we're just gonna leave it on. So, this is Picnicker Angeline. It should be a pretty straightforward fight. I wasn't originally going to get ZA, but then the game came out and looked fun, and I saw it was a follow-up sequel to XY. Then I saw it didn't gender lock clothing. Honestly, not gender locking clothing is so huge. Okay, so out comes Dawnfan. Dawnfan has Earthquake, Stone Edge, Knockoff, and Endeavor. It has Sturdy and a Custat Berry. We're going to use Earthquake to take care of that Sturdy. It's going to use Earthquake because it does a max of 20% to us. Okay, we are now going to synthesis our HP back up. Is our H... Oh, wow. Okay, that thing has, like, no health. I did not realize Dawnfan had such awful base HP. It should be fine. Endeavor always drops us to the same amount. Giga Drain will at least heal us for, like, 20%. Either way, we should be baiting in Gallade. Because I believe it's just going down the line. Okay. Gallade is going to go for either Zen Headbutt, Will-O-Wisp, or Hypnosis. We would ideally like to see Will-O-Wisp or Hypnosis, but it doesn't really matter. We swap to Scalpel. Okay. Let's do some math real quick. I'm pretty sure we're fine. We are faster, inner focus, leftover. There's nothing that stops this thing from dying. We are going to lose 1/8 of our max HP to Toxic this turn. $19 HP. We always one-hit KO with Acrobatics. There is nothing here that should fuck this up. Inner focus, leftovers, it has no priority moves. Oh, hi Pio. Thank you for the sub. Jesus. Okay. Yeah, we now take 19 HP damage. Perugly is going to go for a KO with Double Edge. We are going to swap to Steelix. Steelix does not take a lot of damage from Double Edge. We are now going to use not Explosion. We are going to use Gyro Ball. Yeah, Gyro Ball 2 at KO's Perugly. Went for Super Fang. Good. We always beat it now. We had a Chesto Berry, in case it went for, like, Hypnoises. But yeah, Stomping Tantrum, critical hit, does at most 42 damage to us. That was way scarier than it had any right to be. This was supposed to be a nice, easy breezy fight after fucking Kindler Bernie. Next fight is scary though, because we have to deal with Trickaroo Bronzong. We're gonna use, I know that it doesn't matter, we're going to use an antidote on Scalpel. Also, I'm going to save the game, so I'm going to explore a little bit, see if there's anything I can grab. Like, am I able to reach those berries, or do I need to be able to surf? Or can I walk behind the house? Clever. I'll take those Chestos. I think it's just Chesto, Pecha, Cherry. Nice. Honestly, I think the one that we're running kind of low on is Cherry Berries. Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, I wonder, does Lynette give us anything? If Lynette tries to fight us, you know the thing. Oh, April, I'm sorry everything's so cluttered when I get engrossed in research. It's embarrassing, please keep the secret exchange for this. Hello, Tad Doll, cute. It's for secret bases. Nothing to find with the item finder. Oh, cute. And that's research notes. Oh, cool. No, I don't need to keep reading about that. Anything else to say, ma'am? Lynette's research notes, okay. Let's go heal up and calc that next fight. Unless, hold on. Nothing. We need to make sure we don't accidentally skip off the wrong ledge. Because again, I mentioned, I think we have one more fight, and then we need to start preparing for, the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet's scary. It's a bunch of fights that you're not allowed to return to the PC for. You can heal between them. You just can't come back to the Pokemon Center to swap out your team. So if something dies, it's going to have horrible downstream effects. And the first fight is one of the scariest. Yippee, yay, yippee, yay. Okay. So, our next fight here. The reason that this fight is spooks. This Bronzong has Trick and an Iron Ball. We want that Iron Ball. This Bronzong also has Explosion. Yay! Now, the nice thing is that Steelix lives all of Bronzong's attacks really, really well. Unfortunately, don't consider us doing damage with Stomping Tantrum. We actually can't do damage with Stomping Tantrum because we don't want to risk this thing exploding before it uses Trick to give us that Iron Ball. Thankfully, Earthquake from it does not do a lot of damage, and the odds of it not using Trick turn 1 are very, very low. And with Steelix, even if we're not attacking turn 1, we have access to Screech. So we can start debuffing this thing really early into the fight. So that way we can then secure an easy KO on it after it tricks the Iron Ball onto us. Probably not with Zoroark. Potentially with Granbull, because we can do... That's more dangerous than I'd like. But yeah. The question is, do we give Steelix a Citrus Berry? Or do we just kind of like give it no item so that way this Bronzong doesn't get anything in exchange? Okay, let's just assume it is not actually holding that it has a Citrus Berry. Because we see all these Pokemon that can KO with ground moves. That's not true. It has Levitate. Levitate just isn't activated while it's holding the Iron Ball. So we need something that can KO it. Oh, Flare Blitz on Talonflame would do the trick. like... Walrein lives non-crit explosion. I think Lucario lives non-crit explosion. That's actually pretty cool. Lucario doesn't fight Earthquake really well, though. And gets 2-shot. This thing's just all around really, really threatening. There is genuinely an argument to be made that we stay in against it with Steelix for 2 turns. Just to get its defense down to -4 so more things can one-hit KO it. Because it's like, as long as it doesn't explode, we can swap into literally any dark type to kill it. But if it does explode, you know how it is. I suppose if we gave it, because how much did Earthquake do? A critical hit Earthquake only has like a single roll that kills Lucario. That's not too bad. Because it's like the things that live a neutral explosion. That's right, Throat Chop's a dark move. That's funny. If its defense is just at -2. With the Muscle Band. Swap to Hitmonchan, fake out into Throat Chop kills. Because it's only a 1 in 20 from full HP that it will ever explode. Which is more than you'd think, you know? There was in theory a 1 in 20 chance that we encountered Letty, and so hey, maybe we blinked our bad RNG at the start of stream, right? I would like to not lose Zoroark. I think losing Zoroark would be really bad. Why can't I just get like 1,000 arrows on something? 1,000 arrows would make this easy. Because it's like Talonflame could literally fight this thing perfectly. Fly in over the Earthquake that would go out for Steelix and then get a KO with Flare Blitz. Take a lot of recoil, but... yeah, if your attack's at -1... If we get it to -1, I think Torterra can kind of play around it. It would eventually blow up. Like, almost for certain. But it's only 3 Seed Bombs to get KO. I don't think Togedemaru lives a regular explosion. It could, but it's not likely. Well, it's likely, but it's not guaranteed. It's like... the problem is, I could leave in Steelix. There is the version of this where I leave in Steelix long enough to, like, I just keep using Screech, and eventually Earthquake knocks Steelix's HP low enough for it to, like, see a KO with Earthquake, if that makes sense. It obviously risks crit, and there's still a chance it explodes, but if it explodes, Steelix is the thing that's best at withstanding it exploding. So I need to use the restroom, so I'm going to be right back. Give me just a couple of minutes. Oh shit, we got a raid. Oh golly, how long ago did that happen? Thank you for the raid, Blaz. Golly. So, I'm looking at this fight, and I'm actually thinking we could do something kind of silly with this Bronzong, right? If we open with Grand Bull, and we get off Intimidate, turn one of the fight, if we use Charm, we guarantee that no crit explosion kills us. It is still highly likely to use Trick, and if it uses an attacking move, we can just stay in and use Charm until it goes for Gyro Ball, which we can then swap in to Ledian, who takes Gyro Ball, can use Encore, and then swap to a Pokemon that can kill Bronzong. It's a 3 Pokemon line, so it's kind of scary. Also, Bronzong could just explode. There is the chance that happens, because like, yeah, crit Gyro Ball never kills. I kind of don't hate this, because yeah, we just immediately nuke its attack to -3. It has a +7 chance to use Trick turn 1. And then once it's encored into using Gyro Ball or exploded on Ledian, sad if happens, but like Ledian currently I wouldn't be that devastated over. I don't know. I don't have anything else that can use Encore is the problem, you know? But yeah, at that point, Encore uses up turn 1. Turn 2 to swap into another Pokemon would be Honchkrow. If we gave Granbull an Oranberry, so that way Bronzong always has a held item, we could use Honchkrow or Zoroark. Okay. It's really dumb, but it probably works. Yeah. Make sure to get Iron Ball. Bronzong is immune to ground moves after using Trick. That being said, I wish I could keep you all here for a while, but we did start a little late, and we actually have some company coming over in a couple of minutes, so I'm not going to be able to stick around for very long, and by that I mean I have to go. So I'm going to find somewhere to raid you all out into, and we'll pick this back up on whatever day it is that we stream next. Wednesday. We will pick this back up on Wednesday. So I'm going to raid you all into Mia the Calligrapher. Mia the... Did I spell that right? I spelled that right. Yay! Yeah, no, thanks for at least adding some people to my raid ball here, Blas. So yeah. We will be live again on Wednesday in the evening time slot. You know how it is. Where I'll hopefully have these fights cooked up, and if we're lucky, I will have some of the fights for the Gauntlet cooked up as well. Because we have this fight, we have a double battle, and then it's from Steven to Hector. So, you know, exciting. But friends, until then, I would like to thank you so much for joining me. I have been April. She has been May. You have all been incredible, and I will catch you all in the next one. Have a good day, y'all. Sending out the raid. And